excitement and chatter in the room this morning. That's great. We love that excited, uplifting energy on a Sunday morning because Sunday is the first day of the week. And Sunday sets the stage for the rest of our week. So we want to leave here feeling full and revived and ready to meet whatever the world throws at us this week, right? Right.
Yeah, sometimes
Yay.
I saw somebody on Facebook that had a snake in their house.
Yes.
They had to deal with it.
Yes.
Yeah, that lady right there.
Yes.
You've got a story to tell, don't you?
All creatures great and small.
All right.
Oh, well, how was your week? Good. Oh, man, I didn't have to prompt you to come out with the goods. That's great. Well, we're going to get ready to do here in just a couple of moments our part 2 of the nuts and bolts of abundant, prosperous living. But before that, let's take a moment to take a couple of nice deep breaths, just center into our space. This is your time for spiritual nourishment and upliftment, so I want to set the stage for that by just allowing you a few moments to let go of everything else that's been going on this morning and just be right here, right now, as we recognize today's daily word about world peace. An artist creates beauty out of a spectrum of shades and hues, and the diversity of color adds to the depth of the artwork. In this same manner, the differences in the world show the possibility of splendor when combined in the right way. I envision a world in which all people are accepted exactly as they are, and I set an intention to practice and facilitate goodwill toward others. I behold the world around me and find examples of people and cultures blending and mixing in magnificent ways. The potential for peaceful interaction and coexistence are endless. Acts of kindness, honesty, and healthy communication paint pictures of harmony. And as I choose non-judgment and unconditional positive regard, I create peace in the world. And Psalms 34:14 reminds us, depart from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it. And the affirmation, if you'd like to speak it with me this morning up on the screen, is peace creates beauty in the world. All right.
Yeah, sometimes I like cream with mine. World peas. Anyway, at this time in the service, we're going to invite all the children to come up front.
Sorry, folks, I try to stop him from doing stuff like that, but...
All
Look
right.
at these little guys this morning.
Yay!
Yay!
They brought their friends with them. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you ready to sing? God is.
God is.
I am.
I am.
I create.
I create.
And I pray.
I pray.
And I act.
I act.
On the truth that I know. God is.
God is.
And I am.
I am.
I create.
I create.
And I pray.
I pray.
And I act.
I act.
On the truth that I know. There is only one God. There is only one love. All right, guys, are you ready to go to class? Let's send them off with a blessing. We love you. We bless you. We behold the Christ in you. We appreciate you. And we bless your teachers too. All right. And so it is.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
So are you ready to create an abundant and prosperous life for yourself? Well, we started the discussion last week, and we're going to continue it this morning Bearing in mind that prosperity is not just about money, but it's also about health, joy,
Everything else.
success, all of those things
Yeah.
together create prosperity and abundance for us. So last week when we concluded, we kind of left you with 4 things that we challenged you to consider doing this week. Would anyone like to remind us what those 4 things were? Giving up excuses.
No excuses. That's right. Let go of the excuses.
Stop complaining. Giving up complaining. Giving up
Blaming,
blaming. See, I know
yeah.
she knows because she sat here and took notes the
That's
whole
right.
time. And the 4th one was identifying your negative self-talk. So,
Beautiful.
you know, the first thing that we have to do when we want to create more abundance and prosperity in our life is we have to take ownership and responsibility for our lives. So that's why we work to stop blaming, stop complaining, and stop making excuses.
Yeah.
Start being responsible. And then the second thing is shifting our consciousness to a higher standard, to a higher place. We are, all of us, dogged many times by negative self-thoughts about ourself, about our world, about our everything, right? So the task this past week to start identifying that negative self-talk gives us a little insight into just what our beliefs are, because we all like to think that our beliefs are just perfect, but we have these beliefs that are instilled in us from the time when we are just really small that are typically motivated by fear. Most of the beliefs that we get at an early age are motivated by fear. So we want to identify those in our life so that we can weed them out, work on shifting them, and that is the purpose of identifying your negative self-talk. So we hope you worked on that this week.
How many here have a control for your television set? You know what it's for, right? Yeah. What do you do with it? You turn it on and you what? Turn it off. And it's important that we turn off the flood of negativity that keeps bombarding our minds and overwhelming our senses. Do you know that you and I, as human beings, we can only handle so much, right? We've got to be gentle with ourselves. We've got to take care of ourselves, because after a while it turns into a flood of negativity that's moving through my life, and after a while it takes over. And once it starts taking over, then I start to see the world in a very critical way. And what do? Those 4 things we talked about. I start to judge and complain and blame and accuse and, and think negatively about people and get suspicious, and start looking at people and, oh, yeah, I recognize you. You're the devil. You know what? And that is not helpful, right?
Not at all.
Because whatever goes into your eye gate and your ear gate goes into your thinking, your mind. And as a man or woman thinks, the Bible says that's what you become. Mm-hmm. Let's say it together. It is what it is, but it becomes what I make it. Say it with me. Ooh, yeah.
Now, see, some beautiful soul in here donated a plaque for the yard sale that said that on it. Thank you, Melinda, because it's now hanging in my bedroom. It is what it is, but it becomes what you make it.
That's right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how many of you have this experience, but when things start happening in my life, I tend to have this little committee in my head that comes out and tries to dictate how I'm going to think about things or to add things to the conversation. Do you have that?
Oh, yes.
We call it the committee.
Committee.
And those voices in our head have served a purpose. They have kept us safe at times. They have given some good advice at certain points in our life, perhaps. But you reach a point where some of those voices are no longer useful for you. They have outlived their purpose. And it's important to identify these little voices that we have at our committee table, again, so we can shift them, not pay as much attention to them, and move on to something else. So
what you're saying is you hear voices.
I'm not saying that, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna admit that right here.
The truth of it is we all hear
all hear
voices in our head. They're voices from the past.
Yes, they are.
From people that we've known, from
Yes.
experiences that we have that constantly are feeding into our stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
And if you become what you feed upon, then God knows I'm probably a pizza. But
So Rick Carson wrote a great little book called Taming Your Gremlins. And these are some of the ones that he identified. And I want to see if these resonate with you, if you recognize any of these for yourself. The first one is the general, always following the rules and regulations, the shoulds and you ought tos. The second one, the artist, fulfillment only comes when circumstances are perfect. Everything must be perfect. The third one is the Hulk, sit down and shut up. You might be nice on the outside, but on the inside, you're raging like the Hulk. The fourth one is the big shot. You're a nobody, kid. Everybody else is bigger than you. You're nobody. The fifth one, coach, don't let up. You got to be a hard worker. Don't let up on yourself. Don't ever let up on yourself. Hard work is what gets the job done. The sixth one is Reverend Al Dryup. You're emotionally isolated. You're cut off from your emotions. You find it hard to have emotional connections with other people. 7, Baba Rub-a-Dub. Baba Rub-a-Dub. This is when you feel you can be spiritually superior in order to overcome your innate unworthiness. If I'm just more spiritually superior, then it doesn't matter that I'm unworthy. And then the 8th one is the Grim Reaper. This is where you feel hassled, disgruntled, bummed out, low, and you're in a funk all the time to the point that it just feels like your natural way of being. The Grim Reaper. And then finally, Little Miss What the Heck steps out saying, oh, what the heck? Eat the gooey dessert. And then she turns right around and follows it up with, now you've done it, you'll never change. Do you recognize any of those?
no.
We want to induct you into sainthood. Who was that? Right? We all have these voices in our heads. So can you see how perhaps these things are not serving you at this point in your life anymore?
You know, circumstances that come from a negative beliefs system invoke us to take things personally. Mm-hmm. Did I say a mouthful there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why is everybody always picking on me? Right? Ever feel that way? You know?
The Grim Reaper.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper.
You're feeling hassled.
That's right. And it is one of those things that, you know, we have to get to the point to where we can say it's not personal. Right? Hurricanes happen, don't they? Storms happen. It's not personal. The divine is not against anybody. It's not punishment or judgment. When things happen in your life that feel hard, because how many know that we all experience hard things in our life, except for 2 or 3 of you, right? No, I'm just kidding. The truth of it is we all experience tough stuff. You know, talking accidents that happen, you know. We lose a loved one in our life, you know, or a relationship falls apart, or our children disown us. We get into a tiff, a row with people in our lives that we love, and it's like, oh my goodness, these things happen in life. Jesus said, while you're in this world, stuff is going to happen. That's in the James King version, by the way. In the King James, it says you will have tribulation. You will have periods where you will feel pressured. So what is that pressure for? It's just like a chick inside of an egg, After a while, that eggshell, that way of thinking can no longer work for you. And so you have to start doing something to peck your way out of that state of lockdown, right? You have to start getting out of it. And so you peck your way through either that or the pressure overwhelms you. Isn't it the truth? And so that's what happened to me, because for years I was a fundamentalist, I was one of those fundamentalists that forgot to put the fun before the mental. You know what I mean? And it was a period of time that my box became so tight and so overwhelming and so cramped that, man, I just had to peck my way through and break out of that box, that way of thinking. How many understand this is the box we're talking about right here? Mm-hmm. This box. And so it's important, that if you want to make a shift in your life, this is what's got to change first. You have to get out of the box of your old way of thinking and then begin to create a new way that's different. I like to think of my face as more circular, Instead of being a square, I'd rather be a circle. How about you? All right, tell the person next to you, say, don't be a square. That's a 50s and 60s reference, by the way.
So what happens when these talkers show up at your committee table is that they drive your reactions to things. And we fail to recognize oftentimes that there is a gap that exists between the stimulus that's presented to us and our response or reaction. There is a gap in there. Briefly, but there's a gap that is just long enough for you to go, how am I going to respond to this? Rather than, right? So when these voices start talking to us, one of the things that we can start doing is saying, I understand that you're there because you think you're protecting me, but I really don't need you to speak up right now. You can just have a seat and shut those things down. When the colonel stands up, when the gremlins stand up, just sit lovingly, thank you, and set them down. I'm going to choose something different. And because what happens is when you have these negative belief systems embedded in you, you're operating from those, and somebody says something to you and you have this knee-jerk reaction to things that's coming from these hidden belief systems. You react, and now there's little Miss what the heck or whomever that says, see, you did it now, you didn't act properly, and you just do it again. It becomes a cycle, a self-perpetuating cycle that, trust me, I've said in my life it is impossible to break out of. I shared, whenever that was a couple weeks ago, when I was dealing with anger that was modeled to me in my childhood, I felt sure there was no gap in there because I went from 0 to 100 in the space of a millisecond when something happened, and I was just positive there was no gap there. I was unable to control it. Well, guess what? There was a gap there. And as soon as I decided, I'm going to take charge of this, I'm going to be responsible, this is hurting the people that I love in my life, I'm going to react in a responsive manner rather than a reactionary manner. And the next time something came up for me, just that millisecond of taking a breath and going, okay, how am I going to respond to this differently? For me, I worked with the Course of Miracles and with the idea that you're never angry about the things that you think that you are. They're all embedded in some kind of fear. And so for me, I stopped the cycle and asked myself what I was afraid of. And that's kind of how I worked with it. But you have to move yourself out of these self-perpetuating cycles. Because if you do what you've always done, you'll always get
what you've always
got, right? So if there's something that's not working for you, it's time to identify it and ask yourself, what do I need to do differently? I don't need to keep doing the same old things over and over. So did you know that you can choose what to believe? You can choose it. So when your beliefs come up that aren't serving you and you know they're not serving you, you can simply say, I see that as a belief that I have held that I don't any longer want to buy into. I'm going to choose to believe something different. Because you were talking earlier about the things that come in the eye gate, the senses. Did you know that your 5 senses oftentimes lie to you? Oftentimes what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're tasting, whatever, it's not necessarily based in truth. Not necessarily. So we want to come to depend on and rely on and trust not the things that come through our 5 sense gates, but the things that come through our consciousness, our intuition, our connection with spirit.
So what you're saying then is you hear voices, and now you're talking back to them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's powerful. That is powerful because when you can respond rather than react. You understand the difference? To respond is your responsibility. To react means I've been doing this, I've done this act before, and I'm doing it again. All right? It's your act. It's something that you just do because you've learned to do it. You've learned to be that way. Mm-hmm. Right? This is really practical stuff, this one. This applies to every area of life, yep. You know. You say, well, James, how does it apply to money? You know, how can I have more money? Well, the thing of it is, if we open up and we're thinking more positively, then we're leaving the door open for more good to come to us. Does that make sense? Because then you're a better person around other people, and then people look at you and they say, "Hey, I want to give to you. I want to help you. I want to inspire you. I want to hire you. I want to bless you because you're changing, right? You're becoming a better person." Yeah. Right? Now, you know, with money, we have to be responsible about our money. You know, if I'm spending it all on chocolate cake and donuts and ice cream and pizza, I don't know why I talk about food so much. Do I have a problem?
I'm not answering that.
Anyway, but, you know, it's just a matter of learning how to respond to life rather than react. You know, and just be with people without judging them, without blame, without accusing. And that opens the flow of life. You know, you turn off the negativity fountain. Yeah. You turn that flow off or down because, you know, we like to keep track of what's going on in the world. How many here you like to keep track? You like to know what's happening in the political and the cultural and the economic, you know, and I understand that. But don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it take you over. You know, turn that spigot down a little bit and then turn up the other one. Yeah. What's the other? It's the blessing spigot. Turn that one up, right? To where you are a blessing to people. Mm-hmm. And if you're a blessing to people, what are you going to get back? More blessings. Right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that in the Bible it says to give and then you will receive. Isn't that interesting? To give and then you will receive. So whatever you need, give more of that. You need more love and support in your life? Give love and support, right? Mm-hmm. If you need more, finances, whatever it is, give more of that. Be open to give, and then it comes back to you because it is the law of circularity, the law of circulation. Mm-hmm. It is the premier law of the universe. What you put out is what you get back. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. That doesn't mean, it's important not to walk around with low self-esteem, feeling bad all the time. Well, we're doing something wrong. I used to think like that. Whenever something would happen in my life, I would think, what am I doing wrong now? All of this bad stuff is going on in my life. What am I doing? Well, you just happen to be on this planet where stuff happens. Right? And so, instead of judging myself, I say, okay, I just need to align myself. I just need to get in the flow. I need to do what I know to do and be open to Spirit to be able to do things maybe that I haven't been doing. New ideas, new thought. That's where divine ideas come from, is when you're open, then the universe can talk to you. Mm-hmm. Oh, now we're getting into it. Where the universe is talking back. You see what I'm saying? And so it's not necessarily that you're a bad person if you have things happen to you. You're just a human being, right? Stuff happens. Right? And so what you want to do is you want to change the energy, and by changing the energy, you change your life. And things will get better. And I've seen it happen over and over and over again. Whenever I go through a hard time, I just keep putting out that positive energy, keep doing what I know to do. And then at some point, things will begin to turn around. And that's my philosophy. That's the James King version, right? Yeah. That's what I believe in. Yeah. And it works for me. See if it might work for you.
Yeah. In her book, Deliberate Receiving, Melody Fletcher writes it like this. Our beliefs, all of them, are nothing more than automated decisions, freeing us up from having to think about every detail of our lives all the time. They are like software programs we've installed to help us function in this physical reality. Our limiting beliefs are simply outdated programs, software that once served us well but no longer does. And just as software can be uninstalled and replaced, so can our beliefs. Isn't that a great way to look at it? And how many of you have computers that sometimes you're working on something and, there are things down in the taskbar that are still open, that are running in the background? We have programs that are running in the background. We're not even aware of it sometimes. So one of the things that we can learn to do, remember that first and foremost, you are not your thoughts. Thoughts come, thoughts go. Have you ever had those random, you're like, where in the heck did that come from? It's like it just comes out of nowhere. We have these random thoughts about things. But by noticing the consistent and persistent thoughts, we can get some insight into what our beliefs are. So if we will stop and every once in a while take a look at what's rolling through our heads, identify it. Is this something that I think about a lot? Is this, let's mull this over for a moment and think about it. Identifying those things. Eric Butterworth says, by your thinking, you are either adding to your good or you are taking away from it. By your thinking. Isn't that good? Isn't that good to know? Isn't it good to know that if stuff is going on in your life, that you have the power and the responsibility for yourself to think a different way, to uncover those running beliefs that are running in the background, that are maybe self-sabotage types of beliefs, that you can uninstall, that's good news. Eric Butterworth also said in Spiritual Economics, and if you want to read more about abundance and prosperity from the master, Spiritual Economics is your go-to book, okay? He said it's an important moment in your life when you discover for yourself the great truth that things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. It's all what's going on in the interior world. So I did a little catchphrase a couple of weeks ago that caught on like wildfire. Do the work. Do the work, Chuck. Do the work, right? And that, again, we're back to that because it sounds easy. Oh, I'll just uninstall that program. Oh, I'll just think differently. Oh, I'll just do this. It's a situation where you have to do the work. You have to make a decision for yourself that you're going to work on this. You're going to be diligent in watching your thoughts, uncovering those things that aren't working for you anymore and replacing them. It's the work that we engage in.
Yes, and it's important to remember because this can be overwhelming when you start to change your thinking. It can be overwhelming, especially in the beginning. So what you have to do is you have to work with whatever shows up in the moment. Okay? How am I feeling right now?
Right.
What am I thinking right now? It's present moment awareness. Mm-hmm. And as I'm aware of what I'm thinking, a lot of times it'll just float on through. It'll just go on by. I don't even have to respond to it. Just let it go. Let's say it together. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it flow. Let it be. Right? And by doing that, then we begin to discover the power that is within us. Yeah. Let's say together, I am powerful.
I am powerful. Yeah. You know, it's all about whether it's health, we invite you, whether it's health, whether it's money, whether it's relationship, whether it's career. There's a great thing that Jesus said. Seek ye first the kingdom, and then all of this stuff gets added. If you will make it your mission to do your spiritual work, seeking first the kingdom, all of the other stuff almost becomes just a natural outflow of getting your spiritual work done, getting it in order, doing that. It is that reciprocity, giving and receiving. You know, you give in that spiritual work in that domain, and then you see that return back in the material. It's not about seeking the material things. Seek ye first the kingdom. Seek ye first the spiritual within. Right. Yeah. So, as you start this week, and you want to work with this, and you want to start, what kind of beliefs do I have? Well, I'm going to give you 4 that are not serving you right now, that a lot of us have. So if you don't know where to start or what to start watching for, pick one of these 4. Or heck, pick all 4 of them. The first one is there's only one truth. And by God, it's mine. I'm the only one.
I know that now.
There is only one truth. That is not serving you well. Watch for that one this week. Anytime you want to move into judgment or criticism or that little miss whoever comes out and says, oh, they should be doing this, they should be doing that, there is more than one truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I believe that.
Number 2, a faulty belief, a crappy core belief that we have is that I can't get what I want. Sometimes we're told that as kids. Heck, it was even sung to us in a song. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might get what you need. Isn't that the way it is? You can get what you want. And we have ideas around, well, if I claim my good, if I'm abundant, if I'm prosperous, then I'm cheating somebody else out of theirs. Let's go back to the first one. There is only one truth. No, that's not true. The one truth, with a capital T, is that there is enough for everyone. If someone else is not experiencing that, it's not because you took it away from them. It's because they just haven't gotten to the place in their journey yet where they're ready to claim it for themselves, right? The third one, my beliefs are not a choice. We talked about that a lot this morning. Your beliefs are a choice. You do have the responsibility and the ability to take control over your beliefs that aren't serving you. And the fourth one, we say this a lot in our lifetimes until we get to the point where we know better. Well, I'll see it when I believe it. No, that's not the way we say it, is it?
No.
No. That's the way we should say it.
I didn't mean to disagree with you.
I was testing you to see if you were listening, right? I'll see it when I believe it. Is that the way we should have it? Yes. But oftentimes we grow up hearing just the opposite of that or saying just the opposite of that, right? Well, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Here's the thing about that is that, I'll believe it when I see it. It's like I have learned to believe very little of what I see. Right?
That's right.
And I've learned to believe very little of what I hear. People start telling me horrible things about somebody. I say, well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. People come at me with a conspiracy and they say, oh, them are so bad. I go, well, are they really? Have you had personal experience? Do you know for sure? Right? It's like Oprah Winfrey says, what do you really know for sure? What do you really know for sure? That's what you need to focus on, what you really know for sure. Because it's what you know for sure that is going to free you. That's going to open the door for you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, it's like sometimes I pray for money and I get an idea. Say it with me. All right? I'm praying for more income, and, it's like the church, pray for more income, and we get an idea. And then we need to act on the idea because it's the idea that leads to more of what we need. Yeah. Makes sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up this morning and leave you with a couple of thoughts here. First of all, Eric Butterworth said, the important truth is you are a spiritual being with the allness of infinite mind within you. Whatever your needs may be, the answer is not to get God to give you more through some divine sleight of hand process, but rather to uncover and release your own imprisoned splendor. Avoid the temptation to try to work the law and thus to materialize the process. Get your mind off the idea of making a demonstration in life. Center your awareness on a deeper sense of life, and the demonstration will begin to make you. Take a breath of that. So for this week, continue with the no blaming and complaining and no excuses. Continue with the identifying the negative self-talk.
Yeah, but we did that last week.
Yeah, well, guess what? It's the work. We're going to keep doing it.
Okay.
And then I might suggest that, at the end of the day, or if you're in a position where you can do it as it occurs, list the things that happen in your day that cause you to go into a negative emotion. And if you do that, you'll start to see some patterns and maybe get some ideas of the things that trigger you. And by knowing that, you can start to see where some of those beliefs that you have that are not serving you well, what those things are about. And then the third one is, when a negative feeling strikes this week, here's what you want to do. You want to thank it for alerting you to the faulty thought which came from a faulty belief. Right? Thank it, because you now have the opportunity to identify and work on replacing it. Let any fear, worry, or doubt have a voice, and then use it to your advantage to root it out. Be gentle with yourself. It's a process, but make the decision for yourself that this is something you know you can do and you want to do, and just, Chuck,
do the work.
Do the work.
All right. How did that feel this morning? Was that all right for you? Good. Good. We have a growing spiritual community. At Unity, we always have more than we need. Double and triple, that's how we grow. We claim our prosperity. Our loving source abundantly provides the highest good in all of our lives. We claim divine love and all good grace. We behold the Christ in every face. Time after time and day after day, we declare and decree our ever-expanding prosperity. Money for our mission, money for our vision, comes to us easily, effortlessly, and continuously. We feel it in our hearts. We see it in our minds. The manifestation arrives always on time. And we are what? Grateful. We're going to turn down the lights a little bit. Invite you just to get comfortable where you're at. You're in a safe space. We only have good here for you. That's all we want to do is just be good for you. And let wisdom build the house. Truth and understanding abide. Mercy and knowledge live inside. And all things are new. Perfection shines through, 'cause that wisdom is building this house. Wisdom is building this house. Sorrow and mourning have moved out. Love has moved in. We're rejoicing once again. For wisdom is building. I know that wisdom keeps on building. Yes, wisdom is building this house. I invite you to take a breath. Just let yourself be still in this moment as we are still together. As we get still, we begin to sense that there is a greater presence, a greater awareness, a higher power an unconditional love that is always there for us. It's a place where we can just lean back into the loving arms of the divine and let everything else go in this moment. Allow your body to relax, your mind to be still. Let your emotions begin to heal. As you begin to gather your energy and bring it all back into that sacred space inside yourself. And just breathing gently and easily now. We're grateful for so many things, for the beautiful weather, the sunshine each day, the cool mornings, the beauty of nature that surrounds us. It reminds us of who we are and that we do live in a paradise. We live in a beautiful garden, a garden of God. We're grateful for the grocery stores that have everything that we need. When we want to go somewhere, there's gas for our cars. We're grateful for the laughter of the children. We're grateful for all of our kids, whether you're a parent or a grandparent, a godparent, or maybe just you have children in your life. It's important to remember that these children are representative of us, who we really are. Inside of each and every one of us is a divine child of the universe. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to holler. It's okay to just smile. It's okay to play. It's okay to enjoy your life. Let's take a breath together. If you know of someone that would benefit from being held in this moment, I invite you to bring their awareness, a thought about them. Maybe get a picture of them in your mind. You might even want to say their name out loud. And I invite you to just hold them in this space. Hold them in the light. Hold them in love. Hold them in peace. We surround them with our prayers of goodness and kindness and prosperity and abundance. May they be healed, body, mind, and spirit. And we release them now into divine hands. We remember to pray for those that may be suffering in the world. We pray for a release. We pray for a healing. We affirm the greater good, the common good. We see abundance and prosperity for all people everywhere. My brothers and sisters, wherever you are on this planet, all 7 billion, we love you and we behold the Christ in you. We see your beauty, your magnificence. We celebrate you. If there's something going on in your life right now, maybe you need some guidance or wisdom, I invite you just to hold it in your consciousness for a moment and ask for wisdom. And trust that you receive it now. Maybe now it'll come to you, maybe it'll come to you later throughout the day, maybe tomorrow, but it will come. And we see you on your perfect path. We envision you living a prosperous and healthy and happy life. Know that you are loved unconditionally and that you are never alone. And now for just a moment, I invite you just to sit in the stillness and allow that beautiful healing spirit to be with you and to hold you and to bring healing into your life. Scriptures that says if you keep your mind stayed on God, you will be kept in perfect peace. Amen. Amen. As you come out of your meditation, I invite you just to stretch and let it all go. Ah, yeah. Feeling good, feeling alert, feeling awake. Ready to enjoy the rest of my day. Yay! How many are planning on having a good week? Anybody? All right. Thank you, thank you. Absolutely. All right. Well, we've got some announcements for you. And as Lisa's coming, I just want to say we are recognizing all new members next week here at Unity. Because of the pandemic and all of that, we haven't been able to recognize everybody. We've had some folks who've transferred in from other Unity churches, And we want to recognize them as well as other new members that are joining with us. And so we had a class last week and some folks missed it, so we're going to do another one this Monday night at 6:30. And if you can join us, that would be fantastic. You can find out what our mission and vision, what we're all about. And that'll be 6:30 tomorrow night. I believe that's the 10th, right? And we'll be posting the link on our website. How many have seen the new website? I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand if you haven't seen it yet. Because Leah spent a lot of time on it. So check that out. And we really, really appreciate it. And so don't forget to be with us next week. Now, if you've become a new member and you haven't been recognized yet, we would love to have you stand up and so we can bless you. And that'll be next Sunday during the service. All right? Lisa.
Thank you. I thought I had turned it on. There we go. My name is Lisa Munoz, and it's my joy to serve as your platform assistant this morning. Today, after the service, our book study class, The Universe is Calling, is continuing. We're on our 4th out of 5th week, so if you're here to join us for that, I'm very excited to continue in that rich material with you. This Wednesday at 6:30 is our game night. This is a fun night for fellowship. You can bring your own favorite game. We've got games here as well, so we hope that you join us this Wednesday here at the church for some social time and fellowship.
Bring a snack.
And bring a snack for Reverend James. I guess he's feeling hungry.
Amen.
We have a project going on right now that's being sponsored by our women's group, and they are organizing an outreach project for the Greer community to help support Greer Community Ministries and Meals on Wheels. So all during the month of October, we're going to be collecting some small items, and these are going to be used in the Meals on Wheels 12 Days of Christmas. So what they do is, as they're distributing meals during the month of December, they like to put in a little gift to bring a smile and some holiday spirit to those recipients. And so the women's group is helping organize providing some of these small items. They're very, very simple things. They can be purchased even at a dollar store for $1. So it's not a big commitment, but it can bring such a smile and so much joy at the holiday time. So we're going to ask everyone to think about possibly contributing for that. And to learn more about it, if you'll check out the box in the gift shop area today, the list is on there. So there's some simple suggestions there. And we'll be collecting items all during the month of October. So if you just want to drop those off in those boxes, then the people from the women's group will pick those up and make sure they get to Meals on Wheels. And our master artist musician, Jeff, has a special program for us next Sunday at 3. So I'm going to let him tell you about that.
So we're starting our Supersonic Sundays, and once a month we're going to take a sonic journey. You can come and just listen, and then there's a little Q&A at the end, sometimes a little interaction. It's just about sharing the positive vibrations and helping you learn more what to listen for and the rhythms of life and those things that you can find healing around you all the time. So come and join us, have some lunch after service, and then come back and relax. And it's okay if you take a nap while we play. We'll understand that.
Thank you, Jeff. And I just invite you to look at the website for all of the online and in-person activities that are happening all during the week. We have a lot going on. There's also some printed schedules. If you want to take one of those home and put it on your fridge out in the lobby, you can take that with you as well. Do we have anyone here for the first time today? We'd love to welcome and recognize you. Anyone here for the first time? Wonderful. Welcome. We're so glad you're here today. We hope that you got a connection card, and if you didn't get one, we'll make sure that you have one before you leave so we can stay in touch. And for all those online, if you're here for the first time, we welcome you as well. We're so glad that you're here, and we appreciate that. Just send your email in the chat, and we will be in contact with you. We have prayer chaplains here today who are available immediately after the service to pray with you. You can look for them. They have the stole on. I see Sally's over there with her stole on, and Dory will be praying also. And they're gonna be meeting in the room just off this hallway to the left. This is our new sacred space area that we're working on. And so they would love to share your joys with you. If you have something heavy weighing on your heart, they're there to pray with you. So please take advantage of them. They are wonderful. And we want also everyone to know that Silent Unity is always available to you 24/7 as well. You can find them online. There's a phone line. There's an app. There's many, many ways to connect with them, and they are amazing also. And can we take a moment now to thank all of the hearts and hands and our wonderful volunteers who helped make this service so special today? Thank you, volunteers. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. We really appreciate you. All right. Well, I want to tell you we got some good news. We did our yard sale a few weeks ago. We raised $1,153. Thank you. Oh, right up there it is. Oh, I'm sorry, $1,072.
Oh, well, yay, yay.
All right. So, and that's our income and our October income so far. And so we need about 20,000 a month is what we like to have. We can live with 15, but we enjoy 20. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Unity is an idea whose time has come. If you want to support a movement that's bigger than yourself, then join us. Unity of Greenville is a haven of peace. We are inclusive, and we want everyone to feel wanted and to feel like that they're connected. We believe in diversity. We want people from all races and cultures to feel at home here. How many will make that happen? You promise me that you'll make that happen? Absolutely. We are caring people. We invite anyone that chooses love first, right? That chooses love first to join us and to be a member, to help us to consciously create a little haven of peace right here in Greenville, South Carolina. Sound good? So please know that you make a difference through your loving gifts and contributions. For those that are watching online, you can go to unitychurchofgreenville.org. You can make a donation there. You can do it through debit, credit, text. We're still accepting cash and checks, by the way. So thank you for that. Thank you for your giving. You really do make a difference. And the consistency is what really helps us so much, helps our prosperity, right? So let's say together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all I receive, and all that I am. All right. Thank you, ushers. All right, we're going to do that song again at the beginning because I don't know that it all came out perfect. So, right? How many like repeats sometimes? You have a favorite movie that whenever it comes on, you just got to watch it. You know what I mean? Get us going there, Jeff. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. And that's the way, I like it, that's the way, I like it. You want to stand up? I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the way, I like it, I like it. That's the way, I like it once more. I said, that's the way, I like it, I like it. That's the way, I like it. Thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you. Share your love with somebody. We've got some snacks in the back if you want to go and mill around a little bit and get to know each other. I think that's important, don't you? Yeah. Make some friends. All right. Thanks for being here today. Mary Elizabeth Harmon hadn't been here in 10 years. She's been watching online from Virginia. And we say hello to her mother, Frances, that is watching right now. Yeah. Is June here? Is June here? Is June here? Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you for being here today. Have a wonderful rest of the day.